All right, folks, let's go ahead and get it started for today. We'll play some games. Might do a little bit of a book cover stream afterward because I've been having fun with that. And I think it's a good opportunity to just show how to make some covers in some different styles. I ended up doing fantasy last week. I meant to do nonfiction, so maybe I'll do a nonfiction cover a little bit later. Nonfiction covers are great because you can do it with just text. You can actually have no images for a nonfiction book cover and it'll work just fine. Or you can have just like one image kind of associated with the topic of the book. Whereas making a fantasy book cover requires like a bunch of elements that you really have to communicate correctly in order to tell the reader what genre it is and what kind of things they can expect out of the story. There's a lot of diversity of fantasy covers. Science fiction covers are also good to do. Basically, I could do a spaceship cover pretty easily. Just using stock photos and things like that. So maybe we'll do that a little bit later, but kind of wanted to, start by playing some games today. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. I certainly am doing okay. We ended up with a pet rabbit this week because my son and I were out. Where were we? We were out at this park. We have this huge, we have like a forest behind us and we have parks. So we're out at this park and we're hiking around on one of the trails and I'm like, Ron, get down. I'm like, I think I see a rabbit up there, right? And he's like, oh, and I'm like, you know what? And we start walking up. I'm like, you know what? I think that must be like a cardboard cutout of a rabbit because it's not moving, right? It's just sitting there. Like a rabbit would run away. We were making a bunch of noise. So we kept walking up and then it kind of hopped around. We're like, what is this? I'm like, this is a rabbit. Why is it not running away? And we get a little closer and it's this chocolate brown domestic bunny that's living under this bridge. And he totally lets my son come up and pet him and mess with him. So I'm like, okay, somebody lost their rabbit or abandoned it. There's a rabbit rescue like in Houston. We called them up and my daughter's having fun in the next room. We called them up and they're like, we're full, but this park is notorious for people abandoning their rabbits. They're like, good luck. I'm like, okay. My wife posted about it on Nextdoor or whatever. And everyone's like, oh, you should save the rabbit. It's like, well, do you want the rabbit? No. Okay. So we go back out there. We can't find him the next day. We're like, okay, I'll let it go. And then there's this big thunderstorm and my son's like, I'm worried about the rabbit. I'm like, okay, we'll go see if we can rescue this rabbit. So I go down there and sure enough, the rabbit is hiding in the mud underneath this bridge. The bridge is not like super tall. Like the underneath of the bridge, it just goes over a drainage ditch, like a muddy drainage ditch. So he's hiding under there. We get him out with like some apples and I grab him. Like he's totally cool with us. Lets us mess with him. So I grab him and put him in a carrier, take him home. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to do with him now, but we have a rabbit. And there's apparently no one who wants this rabbit or wants anything to do with it. And the companies that are like, yeah, we rescue rabbits are like, nah, we don't want him. Or you could take him to to the vet to have him euthanized, right? So okay. Anyway, so now we have a rabbit, and my son named him Taran. So that is the rabbit that we have now, a little chocolate brown Rex. So if you own a rabbit, let me know what I need to do to clean this rabbit up. He's still kind of like dirty and muddy, and his fur's very kind of patchy and matted he still looks okay, but his fur's in kind of rough shape from living underneath this bridge for I don't know how long. Super sweet rabbit. Absolutely domesticated. I was really surprised he hadn't gotten eaten already, but I think because this bridge is really close to like a neighborhood and a road, I think maybe just predators weren't coming around there that much because there was a lot of people. So maybe that was lucky for him. I think if he were out in the deep woods, he'd have gotten eaten by a fox or something like that. There's a lot of woods right by there, but he wasn't living in the woods. He was living under this bridge. My new Ushanka hat. I'm not going to turn the rabbit into a hat. Taran's the bunny, yeah. Yeah, he's the name of the bunny. He hasn't chewed through any wires or pooped anywhere. We have him in like a crate, and I think I'm going to build him like a little house or something to live in. But I don't know. They're really, I don't know. I've never had a rabbit before. I've had all kinds of other animals. I've never owned rabbits. So this is the first rabbit that I've had. Shot plenty of them. No, I'm like, I tell my son, yeah, I used to go shoot jackrabbits and stuff. They're like, and my son thinks jackrabbits are like evil. They're like really ugly looking hares, you know. My son doesn't like them. So he thinks jackrabbits are the bad ones. The best book covers I have seen are from Yellow Page novels from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Those paintings are beautiful, often better than the books. It's sad the market is kind of dead. Well, there's a lot that goes into that. So I've said this, I've made these points a couple of times. So why aren't there more painted book covers? So there's a couple of reasons. First of all, not all the book covers from the 60s or 70s are good. I'd love to use this one as an example because it's a terrible book cover from a great author doing a great book. This is medieval crusaders in space on alien spaceships. This is really good and it's really fun. And if you like pulp era adventures, this one, even though it came out in like the 60s, I think, it's great. So The High Crusade by Poul Anderson. This is a really fun book. But the cover tells you nothing. This was the standard sci-fi cover for the 70s. Even Dune had a cover like this that just communicated nothing and did not get you excited about the story at all. So most of the covers were still bad back then. Now, there were good painted covers, but times change. And so the first and most important reason you don't see painted covers anymore is the expense associated with them. What people will often not talk about in the publishing world is how little books are sold. Books 100 years ago in the pulp era were like one of the main means of entertainment for regular people. Lots of regular people that may have had a radio, maybe not, but they could certainly read. So, literacy rates have fallen as well. But people were literate. They needed entertainment. They would pick up a dime store novel. There was a lot of these novels printed. So it was worth it to you to get a painting done. You could also get paintings for much, much cheaper in the past relative to inflation and all those other things. And the reason was the talent pool was so much bigger in the past. Our art schools, at least here in the United States, have completely failed to teach basics. Most of the people who graduate with an art degree are completely incapable of making the kind of book covers that you saw from not even the 60s or 70s, but especially the pulp era where they were really good. Like the 20s, 30s, and 40s, you have some of the best magazine and book covers that you're ever going to see. The talent pool isn't there. And the guys who used to draw those used to paint those paintings for a pittance. They did it for almost nothing, but they were so talented they could crank them out. They could do a bunch of them. So the talent pool is missing. And so why don't I hire more people to paint? Well, for me to get a good painting, it costs $1,000 or more. For a top-notch artist, you could be going to 5 figures for a book cover. Now that's for someone like, Michael Whalen or something like that, right? A major artist. You're still going to be spending a lot of money on that painted book cover. Now, is it a good investment, right? We're in a business here. We're not just artists. So it's easy to look at the book covers and think from an artist's perspective. I think this is a representation of the art. It evokes the art. There's the 2 towers, right? It evokes the book. It makes me think of what's in there. It's an extension of the art that's the book. But in business terms, that's not what a book cover is. It's an advertisement for the book. The point of the book cover is to get someone to pick it up off the shelf or to click on it nowadays, click on it on Amazon, and read the description, maybe read the first page. That's your usual way that a sale is going to happen for a book. If somebody sees a book cover and they click on it, they like the book cover and it tells them something about a story they might want to read. They click on it, or they pick it up off the shelf. They read the back cover to see the blurb, which gives them some information about what the book is about, and then they maybe read the first page to see if it's written in a style that they like, and then they'll buy the book. Or they'll read reviews on Amazon. They'll see, what do other people think about this book? Does it end well? So that's the process of usually buying a book. So with that in mind, the point of the cover is an ad, and times change. Certain genres if you have a painted book cover, it won't sell. Now, this is a thing that a lot of people rebel against, again, because they think of the book cover as an extension of the art within. But it's just how it is. Certain genres like science fiction, you can't have a painted science fiction cover unless it is completely photorealistic, like really, really, really good. Only the top paintings for a book cover are going to look good in science fiction, and only if they communicate certain ideas. That's why you see a bunch of spaceships. Spaceships are cheap and easy to make, but if it sticks out from the genre, if it doesn't look like it belongs in the genre, people will think that the book is in the wrong place, that it's on the wrong shelf in the bookstore. Sorry. They'll think it's on the wrong shelf in the bookstore, or that it is been miscategorized by Amazon. So look at romance covers. It's a photo of a guy with abs. If you had a painted romance cover, people would think it's a fantasy novel and not click on it. They want romance. So they're going to look for covers that look like romance. So whatever is the norm in the genre, whatever is the genre standard for a cover, if you're not somewhere in that realm of the genre standard, people aren't going to click on the cover. Having it be unique is actually a bad thing, because the point of the cover is to signal genre and also story elements. So if you're not signaling genre, which is the most important thing, then your cover is never going to work on that. Never going to convert any sales, because people aren't going to click on it. They're going to think it's the wrong thing. Someone might randomly click on it because it looks interesting, but most people are going to think that they're just going to pass it over because it's not telling them that it's a product that they want to look at. So that's why we don't see a lot more painted covers. There's fewer artists capable of doing it, and as a result, they are much more expensive than what most people can afford. Books do not sell as well as they used to, which means you have to go with a cheaper cover. So we go with photo covers, and I've done AI art covers because they're cheap. You can produce them quickly, and you can actually make them look good for a small amount of money. Whereas with a painted cover, in order for it to look good, it's going to be expensive, and it's going to take a long time to get. And it may take a really long time because an artist may be booked for months. You know, if you go and you ask a top-notch book cover artist, somebody who's just really good, and they might have a 6-month queue. So you're going to have to wait 6 months to even have that cover drawn by a good artist, and you're going to pay $2,000 to $10,000 to get the cover drawn. Well, that's not a good investment unless you're selling 100,000 books, right? You got to sell thousands and thousands of books to make a really top-notch cover worth the investment. So for most people, painted covers are just not going to be worth it. Unless you were a painter yourself, and a high-quality painter. Unless you can make stuff that looks like this in terms of the quality of the faces, hands, and the objects in the frame. Unless you are classically trained, you are not going to be able to make a book cover that's going to sell. I've had so many artists solicit me, trying to get me to hire them to make book covers, and their art. And I'm not calling anyone out. If you're one of those people, and I haven't contacted, maybe you're this person, maybe not. But their art is just at too low a level for me to put on a book cover. Now I've hired amateurs for interior illustrations just because I want to give them a job, give them a chance, and let them practice. And I think their basics are good. And I'm doing black and white art. But if you're talking a painted book cover, it's got to be good. If it is not the top notch, then you can expect that you are just not going to sell well with that book at all. So it's better to have a $50 cover. If you're going to go with a painted cover, you need to be spending a lot of money. And if you're not going to spend a lot of money on it, you might as well just go with a photo cover, because it's going to end up looking better than a bad artist. So that's why we don't see painted covers anymore. And then, as a side note, a lot of the old ones were actually really bad. That's just reality. A lot of them were bad and didn't look good at all. Some of them were really good, but a lot of them were bad. That's how it is. I have best-selling books by various authors from the 60s, and their covers are generally pretty bad then as well. So there's been a lot, traditional publishing has had poor covers for decades and decades and decades, basically since the end of the pulp era. Indie covers tend to look better because indie artists really need to sell. They need that ad to work really well. They don't have any other things going for them, like the fact that they can get a book in a limited bookshelf space. And just by getting your book in a bookstore, there's only so many books that are in a bookstore, so you're kind of weeding out a lot of competition. If I publish a fantasy book to Amazon, I have like a million competitors. There's a million other fantasy books that people could read there. Speaking of Dune covers, what do you think of the modern ones? I think they're awful. I think they're absolutely awful. It's a great example of Adobe Illustrator corporate art. I'll tell you the ones that I'm thinking of. Maybe I can find them real quick. Let's see if I can find them. Okay, these ones are okay. I'm seeing some that are okay. I'll show you the ones that I think are okay, and I'll show you the ones that I think are bad. So let's take a look at these. And this is not really a book cover stream, but here we go. We're going to look at some stuff. All right. Let's see here. Let's blow this up a bit. I really need to like shrink this down a bit because it's just a little too big. But anyway, okay, so let's look at some Dune covers. I'll show you the ones that are really bad. Here, these ones are bad. See this one that says Dune right here? That's like vertical. This one is awful. Does this communicate anything about the story? It doesn't even communicate the genre. This is this is the cover of Dune when I read it. It's a rock with some people. Now it tells you a little bit. It's very evocative of what you're going to get in Dune, which is deserts and some people, and it makes you want to pick it up. This one I think is really good with the colors. This is a great example of modern design, generally done well. Like I could do this in Photoshop, and it would look, you could do a similar thing. The teal and the orange look really good. Now, it doesn't quite evoke the desert because of the blue, but maybe the blue eyes, like the blue eyes pop out. This is a good modern design. I consider this a good modern design in general. Now, this one is bad though. So this is one maybe from 2 years ago. It's like, why would you put this is an Adobe, made in an Adobe Illustrator or something? It just looks awful. It's there's so many books that are put out now with this kind of design by traditional publishers. It's like you're not even trying. If this was not Dune and people didn't already know exactly what they were getting with Dune, nobody would actually want to pick this book up. If it was just on the shelf and you never heard of Dune, no one would buy it. This one's really good too. Like this one has a very evocative cover to it. You have a humanizing element, you have a sandworm, you have a desert, you have the right colors for the desert. This is very good. I'm very fond of this one. I think this one looks really good as well. It basically tells you it's a sci-fi because you have a planet, you have sky, you have desert and stuff like that. So you have a lot of good stuff going on. There's been a lot of great Dune covers. This one's good as well. This one's very sci-fi, but it's the wrong colors for Dune. This is all blue. Like you need it to not be green. It needs to, because Dune is a desert. Even Children of Dune should probably be all deserty, right? This one's okay. Again, too much. We do a lot of certain color contrasts in cover design. You do orange and blue. Blue and orange are what are called complementary colors for those of you who studied art, and they make a lot of sense, So you do a lot of that stuff with modern design, makes it really pop. Some of those are good. I was thinking of this one right here, this vertical one, one of those redesigns that just looks awful. So I think that one's really bad. I buy old books just for the cover. I buy them for the story. I can always just look at covers online. Can you give your opinion on the new deluxe edition Dune covers coming out next year? I think they look awesome. I'm not going to buy them because I have the originals. I have the original hardbacks, so I'm not going to ever buy Dune again with the original covers. You guys want to see one? I'll show you one real quick. Here. Let me go find one. Okay, so here's an example. Children of Dune. This one's pretty beat up, as you can see, but this is from release. It says, what does it say on here? The climax of the Dune trilogy. Climax of the Dune trilogy. So I have the original hardbacks, even though they're kind of rough. You know, I've picked them up over the years at garage sales and things like that because there's a lot of these floating around, including the first one. But I don't know where that one is right now. It's somewhere in my stack. So here's Children of Dune. Notice the color orange. Notice that you have like a sci-fi city there. That's all the information that you really need. And you have a font that kind of, this is from like a 70s font. Like it communicates fantasy and science fiction. This is actually a pretty good cover. So I would just probably keep the originals. I have no reason to buy new versions of those personally. I just wanted to show this one as well while I'm thinking about it. So this is a really good example of a book cover that, this is a photo cover, right? Can you guys tell? That's a photo cover. Okay, this was done in Photoshop by someone. This is kind of like, if you guys have seen Invincible, this is like superheroes but they're bad guys, and the world is like post-apocalyptic because of the bad superheroes. It's by Brandon Sanderson. It's a young adult focused novel. It's really not my favorite. I really dislike the characters in it, actually. But it's a good story as far as how it's executed, I guess. But I would look at the cover as an example. If you did a comic cover with a superhero on it, why would you not do that? Why would you not do an illustrated cover for something with superheroes? The answer is because people will think it's a comic book. Because they're not used to novels that look like comic books. They're used to novels that look like this. This is a young adult novel cover. So because this is a young adult novel cover, the young adult market is going to buy this cover. Whereas if you put a big Steelheart super guy with a cape on it, whatever it was going to be, and it looked like a really good comic cover, people would be confused. They'd open it up and be like, where are the pictures? I bought a comic book. Or people who were looking for a young adult novel would not click on it because they'd be like, well, I don't want to read a comic book. I want a book. Great example of why you don't use illustrated book covers in every circumstance, and in fact, in most circumstances, they'd be bad. You actually need a photo cover if you're going to want to sell a young adult post-apocalyptic novel like this, because otherwise the people who are looking for that won't ever click on the cover. It sounds weird, but it's very true. Did you see the movies before or after reading Dune? After reading Dune. I didn't even see the first Dune movie until I had read the books. At least the first book. Like the David Lynch one, I didn't see. I read Dune when I was a teenager, and I didn't see the movie until after I read the book. My aunt gave me the book. I covered the new Apple TV Foundation series book covers a while back. The designs are hideous and speak nothing about the science fiction world of Asimov. Yeah. That's kind of what happens with trad publishing, is you hire your friends to do things, and they do a bad job, right? It's nepotistic. Everybody, so okay, you ready for an aphorism about nepotism? Everybody hates nepotism as an entire construct. The world would be better if there was no nepotism. That's going to be the preference for the group. But every individual person loves nepotism because they benefit from it. They want to give favors to their friends and receive favors from their friends. So nepotism it's the difference of, it would be better if everybody didn't do this. Yeah, everyone would prefer it if they were able to operate on neutral terms with everyone. But the individual preference is to give and receive nepotism constantly. Like you favor your children. Everyone wants to favor their children. Everyone wants to give their children a leg up. And you want to do it with your friends, your family. And it's good when you receive nepotism and you like to give nepotism. So, of course, you have that in the publishing industry. And it's only where you have a real free market of talent, like in the indie sphere, that you start to see really good things. And really good things are able to break through. Anything that looks like Ralph McQuarrie could have painted it, I like. Ralph McQuarrie. Is he who I'm thinking of? The name is so familiar. Yes! Yes, he did Star Wars. That's right. I understand. Yes. Ralph McQuarrie was absolutely awesome concept artist. What a visionary, right? Sorry, sometimes I do that. I like stop and I'm like, wait, do I remember who Ralph McQuarrie was? I don't know if I remember who he is. Okay, let's play some games. Let's play some games. So yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter if you think if you think covers are cheesy or not. That doesn't matter. Like, your opinion on it really doesn't matter. What matters is whether you read the book, because the goal of the cover is to get people into that, through the steps necessary for them to buy a book. So if somebody complains that my covers are generic, I just ignore them because they're not in the business. I'd be like, you have no idea what you're talking about, right? Because that person probably doesn't buy any books that are outside of the genre norm anyway. I had someone say that my genres are generic, and I'm like, you read isekai manga where every cover looks exactly the same. It's the same construct. It's the same format. It's the same style. All of them look the same. And if they didn't look the same, you wouldn't buy it because it wouldn't be what the story that you want. It wouldn't be an isekai manga. That's it, right? That's what you got to think about. Yeah. So you can find artists on ArtStation or DeviantArt, lots of different places. The problem is paying for one who's actually good enough to deliver something that's going to sell really well. Like I said, it's got to be extremely top notch if you want a painted cover. And in certain genres, like I said, if you'd had a painted cover for Steelheart, it wouldn't have sold. It just wouldn't have sold, guys. The photo cover actually would have sold better because it's more like the other books in the genre, which is actually what you want. Painted covers still work for fantasy. They can work for science fiction depending on what you're doing with it. But if you were to do this cover today, it wouldn't sell because people would think it's just an old book with a weird cover. Like, they think that they were looking at an old classic sci-fi, not something new and hot, which maybe you want to do that, but they wouldn't think it's a new book. They think it's an old book. So it might not sell as well as something that looks like a brand spanking new, special, shiny new story that everybody's reading. Anyway, let's see if we can play some games here. Where's my thing? All right. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Would you be interested in seeing the cover for my sci-fi comedy book and giving me brutal, honest feedback? You can send it to me in a DM on Twitter, and I can give you feedback. The thing is that sci-fi comedy, I'd have to go look at the other covers in the genre. Let me look some up. Let's go over to Amazon. Let's look up sci-fi comedy. So we want to look at what sci-fi comedy books actually look like. So there's a lot of variation here. So to have a comedy element, a lot of these don't have any kind of comedy element on them. To have a comedy element, I think, is probably challenging within sci-fi. So you have to have something on there that conveys that it's comedy and something that conveys that it is sci-fi. That's all you really need. So if you have a spaceship and then something that looks silly, then that might be enough. That might be enough to sell it. Here, let's look at I'm seeing a couple here. The title can sell it too. There's one called Smart Girls Don't Kiss Aliens. I think it's hard to communicate comedy on a cover. I think it's hard to communicate comedy on a cover. Anyway, yeah, I can give you some feedback. Yes, enough time could pass where people would prefer the old cover art. It's just a trend. Like, you can't... The trends go where they were. It's like Stampede, If people started doing more painted covers and that became the standard, well, you'd have to get a painted cover to sell. That would just be how it works. If you made a spaceship that looked like a clown, or you just put a big clown on the side of the spaceship, that could communicate comedy as well. There's lots of things that you could do that just would be a silly element that you could slap on the book cover that would probably do what you want it to do. But it's a little bit more challenging, you know. It's challenging to have comedy and science fiction. But you just need an element. You could have a planet with like a clown face on it. You could have a planet morphed into a weird face or something like that. Yeah. I'm going to try one. See what Midjourney can come up with. Did you make it back to the yellow rose? Make it back to Texas? Yes. I'm not sure what you meant by yellow rose, because I don't think in those terms. Sexton Lovecraft. I think this is actually pretty good. I think it looks funny. Yeah, I think that actually looks pretty funny. I think it has the right elements. Includes the perfect stream of inflatable sheep. Yeah, you have sci-fi elements. You have a goofy element. I think that cover would work. Or I'll show it to everybody. Sorry, I was trying to set up the beta here. Here, it looks like this. So yeah, you have a comedy element. It's an illustrated cover, but I think it works fine for comedy. You're not trying to sell someone on a super serious sci-fi story, so I think that works. And yeah, I wouldn't worry about any kinds of flaws in the you know, like there's a gap between these two fingers. I'm sorry, I do this sometimes, but like, you know, it doesn't look bad. No one's going to notice any of the flaws. Is my point. It's like no one's going to look at this and stop and be like, oh, well, you know, I find this one tiny flaw in something in the illustration. The illustration looks really good, and it's generally high contrast and basically going to do whatever you want it to do. I think it looks fine. I think the font also definitely communicates sci-fi, right? It's a big sans serif font. It's like Beam Weapon or something like that, which works just fine. I might change. I don't know where your author name is, right? So put your author name somewhere in a different font, just without the embossing on the letters. That's what I do. So I just have like a straight sans serif font, Futura or Helvetica or something like that. I use Futura because it's just really clean, and I would just have that with a drop shadow, and that's it. And just like this font down here, it's just a little too busy for how small it is. This is perfect. This is a little too busy. That's all I would change. And then of course have your author name at the bottom here. Boom, boom, boom. Your author name in like Futura, and it would look really good. Yeah, it'd look really good. So there's that. Okay, let's play some games. If I can get this to work today. Should work. Properties. Okay. Lagging for some reason. If you want to keep your author name off, then if you want to keep your author name off of this, you need a pseudonym. You got to have an author. So I would just do a pseudonym, whatever it's going to be. Yeah, you got to have an author name so that that's your brand, dude. You got to have your name on it. That's your brand. You got to think about how you're going to sell other books too. You got to have a brand. So come up with a pseudonym or put your name on it. Either one. You know, I have the advantage where I just don't have to worry about getting fired right now. So I just have my name on everything. But, you know, pick a good pseudonym. And you could even have like a little portrait, fake portrait of yourself drawn up. And just do that. Okay? So yeah, definitely need an author name. Where were we? Yeah. Here we go. Now, I don't remember if I did a ghetto save or not. I think I did. We were at like the mining camp, I think, where everybody hates. Everybody's hating on. Barrett. Get this kind of blown up here, nice and big, so I can see it. Then I don't have to like look down at the little PlayStation. Little miniature PlayStation. Yeah, the PlayStation Vita could have been the best device ever made. Could have been like it's like the greatest handheld ever made, and Sony just would not let it be as great as it truly is. All right, remember what I'm doing here. I think I gotta talk to some people. The gold saucer. Barrett, what happened? Sorry. What happened? My hometown used to be around here. What do you mean used to? It ain't here no more. Heard it got buried in just 4 years. But how could those people say those terrible things? And it's my fault. All my fault. My hometown, Coral's always been a coal mining town. It's so dusty, but calm and so poor. A real small town. That's the first time I ever heard the word Mako reactor mentioned since that time. What are we going to do? The only one against this is dying. I'm definitely against it, no matter what. There's nothing to talk about if you're thinking of throwing away our coal. Our coal's been protected for generations. Our fathers and theirs before them risked their lives for it. We have no right to throw it all away so easily. But listen, Di, no one uses coal nowadays. It's the sign of the times. Right, everything is Mako now. It'll be alright, Dine. Shinra Inc. will guarantee your livelihood once the Mako reactor is completed. Listen, Dine. I don't want my wife Myrna to suffer anymore. I know how you feel. I feel the same way too, damn it. But even so, I won't give away our coal mines. Dine, you've got to understand. I'm going to make him maybe West Virginian for this little voiceover. Should do like a fully voice acted playthrough. It'd take a lot of time. I'd cut it up on YouTube. Oh, I didn't read that. We thought it would bring us an easier life. Oh, look at the cool effects. It happened when Diane and I were out of town for a few days. Coral was burned down by the Shinra troops. All the townspeople, all my relatives, everyone, everything. Shinra troops? What for? There was an explosion at the reactor. Shinra blamed the accident on the people, said it was done by a rebel faction. That's so terrible. Well, I guess that's true, but more than Shinra, I couldn't forgive myself. I'm playing on the PS Vita. but it's a it's a PS1 classic that I'm playing through Adrenaline, right? So it's a PS1 game being played through the PSP portion of the PS Vita. Does that make sense? It's a little weird to explain, but if you understand how the hardware of the Vita works, basically there's a PSP inside the Vita, and so I'm playing it technically on that. But it's the PS1 version, and it runs exactly like it did back in 1997. Sony loves to get their own way. Snatch defeat. This technically could do everything the Nintendo Switch could do in a better form factor that goes in your pocket. I don't know. Never should have gone along with the building of the reactor. Don't blame yourself. We were all fooled by the promises Shinra made back then. That's why I get so pissed off. Not only did they take advantage of me, but I lost my wife being it too. Hey everyone, if you want to go to the Gold Saucer, hurry and get on. Dime was my best friend. He was close ever since we was kids. I need to go poke around here for a minute. Adrenaline is a PSP, PS1. It's not exactly an emulator. It's not an emulator. It's not software. It runs on the hardware. If you want to survive, then you're going to need some of my weapons. I don't have any money, though. Force Stealer. Well, you should probably get that. And Molotov. Oh, this one won't do elemental magic, so... Oh, wow, that's nice. Titan Dangle. No, whatever. We'll roll with it. Let's see here. Ice. Alright, restore. Okay. Well, that's good enough. Like, the backwards compatibility on this is awesome. This PS1, PSP, and Vita. Out of the gate, you can download the PS1 games from the Sony store. You can download the PSP games from the Sony store. It was so good. It was such a good system for what it was. And, yeah, like someone said, they like to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Like, I really think, you know, this was like the Nintendo Switch before there was a Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? Wait, there's one little part I didn't explore there. There we go. I'm gonna check this room out. There's a puppy. Yay, what do you want to play? Because of the mug, my husband got in that accident. He used to be such a strong man. How am I supposed to continue living in a town that's lost everything? To hell with the Mako reactor. I just do love the little environments here. Can you use the Play streaming service on the Vita? Not anymore. Years ago you could, but no longer. So that doesn't work on the PSP anymore. You can still stream your PS4 to your Vita, that still works, and your PS3 remote play to your Vita still works. So you can stream PS3 gameplay and PS4 gameplay, but you can't do their remote server streaming anymore. You used to be able to do it. So think about like back in 2014, all the crap you could do with the Vita. You could stream from 2 different consoles while you pooped on the toilet. You could hang out in your hotel room and like stream PS2 games from a server. Like, it was really pretty good for what it was. I never knew. Barrett never said a thing. It's all my fault. Alright, now how do I get on? There we go. Yeah, I used to be able to. So the Vita was a really amazing device, but Sony just didn't like emphasize it. And the reason was is they didn't want people to buy the Vita instead of their home console. You know, they really treated it as like an add-on to the PS3 and PS4, not as its own awesome thing. Nintendo's always had a differentiation between its home and its mobile consoles up until the Switch. Like the 3DS was very well supported. Sounds too consumer friendly to you? There we go. Sorry. Sounds like this stuff. Like gold saucer music. Sounds too consumer friendly to be true. Well, they wanted to charge you a lot for it, so don't give Sony too many passes. And they wouldn't want to, like, I have a lot of cross-buy games, but those were pretty rare. What they wanted you to do was buy separate copies for the PlayStation Vita at $45 or $60. Welcome to the Gold Saucer. Welcome to the Gold Saucer. Are you together? A single pass is 3,000 gil, or you can purchase a lifetime pass for 30,000 gil. Now, can I sneak in? Yeah, let's save the game. I don't remember if I could sneak in or not. Zero GP. I think I have to get their points there or whatever. Yeah, let's do a little ghetto save real quick. So you can always go back down and like kill monsters to get more gil. Oh, right. To that overwrite. I don't remember if there's like a way to get in. No, there's not. Do you play Final Fantasy XIV? I do. I'm on the Zalera server. I play from time to time, usually late at night. I haven't played a lot as of late because I've been so busy with other stuff, but I do play. I still am not like level cap because I just play very casually, like an hour here or there. All right, now the screen is black. That's great. There we go. There we go. All right, we got to pay the piper. I was kind of hoping there was like a secret way in. Let's see. Buy your ticket here. Fine. Thank you very much. If you leave Gold Saucer, your ticket's become invalid. Here at the Gold Saucer, there are many places where you must pay with GP. Just think of GP as money that you can only use at the Gold Saucer. GP can only be redeemed at the Games in Wonder Square and at the Chocobo races. Your GP limit is 10,000, so please be careful. Enjoy yourselves. I had a Sony DAP. This was circa 2010. It was amazingly complete. Great ID3 support, wide selection of video files, decent ebook formatting, excellent sound. Sony makes good devices. Like, their phones are actually the best phones you can get. But they're super expensive. And they have headphone jacks. I think gamer resentment towards Sony, I'm not sure where it comes from, to be honest. I'm not sure why people hate Sony. Like, they don't really act particularly different from any other hardware manufacturer, as near as I can tell. I ain't in no cheery mood, so just leave me alone. I guess no one's as kind as Valve. Really? That's too bad. Let's go. Isn't that a little harsh, Eris? Just act normal when this happens. You think so? Of course. We're gonna go play. So play! Messing around, shit! Don't forget we're after Sephiroth! I think he's mad. He'll be fine. He seems to be doing a little better now. No, I'm trying to remember info. I haven't done this in like forever. I don't remember it at all. You better be careful. Sephiroth might be around. With me? Oh, I could take whoever I want around with me. I wish we could just forget everything and have fun. I can only take one girl with me, huh? Who should I take? I wonder if Sega can enter the console market again with the new Dreamcast. I kind of feel like consoles are becoming more like PC. They are. I mean, Valve really spoils us. Like, that's what the cool thing about the Steam Deck is. You buy a Steam Deck and you have a Nintendo Switch that you already have 1,000 games for, and they, you know, it's like, it's a good device, man. Who do I like best? I think I like Ares. Alright, Event Square. Let's go in here. Sorry, but there's no show now. Speed Square. Alright, how does this work? Hey, boy! Boy! How is it? You having fun? So you are having fun. Well, good. Good for you, boy. My name's Cloud, and stop calling me boy. Me? I'm the owner of the Gold Saucer. The name's Dio. Holy diver! Just call me Dio. Cloud, not even listening. You thought it was, but it was me, Dio. By the way, boy, do you know what a black materia is? What is it? Ha-ha! That, I say, that's a good one, boy, but it's not good to lie. You can't fool me. Why do you ask me? Well, a while back, a boy your age came in and asked me if I had a black materia. I thought you might know who he was, seeing as how you're both about the same age. Did he happen to have a black cape? Why, yes, indeed, and a tattoo on his hand that said, what? Where did he go? I have no idea. Well, then. I say, stop by the battle arena if you like, boy. You'll probably like it. Many of my collections are on display there. Ha-ha! First, I gotta memorize the order it comes out and then guess on the attacks. We have to be careful of these steps. What? A lot of things. I don't remember how to do all this. Hotel, round, event. Battle, wonder, chocobo. What does this do? I'm sorry, we're currently renovating. Please come again. Where does this go? Oh, Battle Square. Hey, you. What you looking so down for? How about it? Want me to read you your fortune? A bright future, a happy future. Oh, but don't hold it against me if it's not a great prediction. Oh, sorry. I'm a fortune-telling machine. The name's... I think we're keeping all the names standard. Kate Sith. You can only read the future? You're kidding. I can find missing things, missing people, anything. Then can you tell me where a man named Sephiroth is? Sephiroth, right? Okay, here goes. Ordinary luck. It will be an active fortune. Give in to the goodwill of others and something big will happen after summer. Wait, what's this? Huh? Let me try again. Be careful of forgetfulness. Your lucky color is blue? Forget it. Wait, give me another chance. Wait, let me try it again. I've read years ago that Kate Sith is pronounced like Ketchi. Never made sense to me. What the? What? What you pursue will be yours, but you will lose something dear. I don't know if it's good or bad. This is the first time I ever got something like this. Then shall we? What are you talking about? As a fortune teller, I can't help but think about this. But I don't see what it leads to. I won't be able to relax. That's why I'm going with you. What are we going to do, Cloud? I'm coming with you no matter what you say. Hey. Probably told you at the entrance, but most of the attractions at Gold Saucer only take GP. They don't sell GP. You can only get them from the Wonder Square games or at the Chocobo races. Wonder Square. You have 0 GP. Exchange your GP for prices here. Want to exchange? Yeah, we want the, probably this, whatever it is. We gotta get 500. Arm wrestling, let's try that. Actually, let's do a little quick save here. Alright, we don't have to keep going back and doing anything over again. The Japanese name is Ketoshi. It's good to know. It's a fairy cat from Celtic folklore. I didn't know that. Ryan knows. I didn't know that. Ketoshi. I don't remember how to do any of these. Please push circle. I lost. Alright. That's pretty hard. I'm like, I need a turbo button. Alright, we'll try again. Oh, I lost really quick that time. Maybe I was pressing the wrong button. Now let's just try regular wrestler and see how much we get for that. I don't know what's like the easiest one. Let's just try wrestler. I lost. Alright, that one's maybe too hard to do on these tiny buttons. Maybe I had like an arcade stick or something, I don't know. Where you can tap really fast. Alright, let's try this. Good. Let's try this one. Basketball game. Try it. Let's try an easier one. Alright. Square. Sure do need a lot of money here. Yeah, I don't have a lot of money. Maybe there's like a claw machine. I don't remember like what the easier ones are. Or if it's just these two. Because it's been so long. Maybe play like a slot machine or something. Oh, here we go. Claw machine. Wonder Catcher. Receive potion. Alright, this just gives you stuff. Yeah, what we want is like the GP stuff. And if there's maybe the Chocobo races. Oh, we have like a buy game. Tired. Oh, this seems to be out of order. Don't worry about me. Go ahead and play. .3D Battler. Let's try it. Upper body attack. Alright, let's try it. Losing. Oh, I won! Oh, another guy. I don't remember if there's a pattern or not. Yeah, they're trying to simulate holograms here. Mog House. Let's try. This is Mog's house. It is in Mog Forest on Mount Mog. Beginning of another day in the life of a Mog. This year Mog is a Pipapopopo is Pipapopopo. Pipapopopo years old. That's 28 in human years. He's at the age when he should be looking for a mate. But before Mog can become an adult, he first needs to learn how to fly. Even though Mog trains hard every day, he still can't seem to get off the ground. Looks like he's still got a long way to go. Here's where you come in. Help Mog learn how to fly by pushing the circle button and feeding him his favorite Kupo nut. But don't overfeed him, he won't be able to fly if he's too fat. Kind of cute. All right. That's 3. Will he do anything? Oh, it seems like Mog's decided to take another shot at it. Oh, he didn't make it. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. Poor Mog will have to wait some time for a bride. Well, shoot. Let's see if there's like anyone's got any info on this. Let's try this again. And when he jumps for joy, apparently he's had enough nuts. Alright, he's had enough. Seems like Mog's decided to take another shot at it. The transparency effects really looked good for 1997. I'm always impressed by consoles that were able to do like these translucency effects back then. Now he's finally become a full-fledged Mog. You didn't see it on PC even much. In the 90s, when games and anime weren't afraid to be as Japanese as humanly possible. It's true. I remember somebody, there was like a review. Almost nobody reviewed this game, The Last Remnant, when it came out. It was a Square Enix. Really unique RPG that was originally for Xbox 360. Tired but relaxed, our little Mog turns out the lights early and goes to bed. Good night and sweet dreams. What's this? Oh, here comes a female Mog. And like one of the reviews was, I guess there's a market for this, maybe in Japan. It was like totally the like people, the gaming press hated Japanese games in the mid to late aughts. I don't know why, but they hated them for some reason. I don't know. They're like, JRPGs are outdated. Last Remnant wasn't. It had a really unique battle system, but journalists are idiots who couldn't figure it out. So they're like, I don't know this. I don't like this game. Now, will Mog be able to fly gracefully in front of her? Help out with a few Kupo nuts. Still hungry? Yeah, the alpha translucence was really impressive. Like, it's one of those things you actually won't see on Genesis emulators correctly. You have to have a Sega Genesis hooked up to a CRT TV to see the translucency effects properly. It won't work without a CRT because it was designed around that hardware. So, like, the old consoles really did look much better on old TVs. A lot better, you know. Like, I really want to get a CRT just to hook my old consoles up to because they look so much better, especially these translucency effects. You won't notice them, but I don't remember exactly how they did it, but it's one of the ways that they interpolated the lines to make it look translucent. So you get translucent water effects on the Super Nintendo and on the Sega Genesis that just don't show up right on emulators at all. They look like opaque or they're a weird color. You can see clearly both objects through the translucency, and they're like shaded by the translucency in all of these games. It's really pretty amazing. Well, it seems like Mog's decided to take another shot at it. Yeah, in 2006 they wanted everything to be like Oblivion, but you know, they also didn't want it to be difficult like Oblivion, and they thought Oblivion was too hard, and they constantly complain about Oblivion's leveling system, which is the same as Morrowind's. And they complain about it because, let's be honest, like a lot of the journalists aren't spending enough time with the game to get good at it. They're not into learning about how RPG systems work because they didn't use those things. Looks like things are going good with his new Mog friend. Time for a quiet date in the forest. Yeah, most games back then were made with CRTs in mind. There are some really clever solutions like the translucent waterfalls in Sonic on the Genesis. Yeah, those don't show up on emulators, right? They don't. Look at one on a CRT and you'll see what I mean. Like the old technology. Now I see a bunch of YouTube videos. Her name is Mag. She's a good-natured Mog. I see a lot of videos like, oh wow, these CRTs like are amazing. The blacks are so black and they're so bright and crisp, and the sound is great. I don't need like some kind of external sound setup to use them. It's like, yeah, dude, they were really good pieces of hardware. They were just huge for the size of screen you had, and it's hard to find them where they're really in good working order now. But if you could find one, it's totally worth it if you're into playing. If you're into playing vintage games and you really want them to look the way they looked back then, it's got to be a CRT. It will look way better, especially the 16-bit era. The 16-bit era looks so good. Or if you get a real Neo Geo, it looks so good on a CRT. Best of luck to the both of you, Mog and Mag. May you have lots and lots of healthy Mogs. Oh, they're having babies. Ooh, a yellow one. And a pink one. Look at all the Muggles. Journalists all go to J school hoping to save the world. Instead, their editor's like, you're reviewing mobile games? No worries there, I guess. Finn. We beat the game. We beat the Mog game. Yeah, 36-inch flat Trinitron. Those things were huge. They were like... 300 pounds is probably an exaggeration, but... I mean, they were definitely over 100. I'm impressed. Thanks for showing me it. Here, take this. Receive 30 GP. Alright, I think the basketball one might be the easiest one to win. I have a little guide here. Torpedo attack. So if we want to earn GP, the 3D Battler is kind of good. I think the fastest way to earn it's actually with the basketball, but you have to get the timing down. So let's go back and try that out. Yeah, this is usually pretty bad. Remember, you get 30 for that guy. We're going to create a save state and just really try to... If you can do 10 in a row, if you can do 10 basketballs in a row, you get a lot of GP. Our goal is to get 500, because then I think you get that... I don't remember what it is. You get something there. You get items here. You can actually skip most of this, which is true. I got one in a row. Nope, nope. This is totally cheating, but whatever. Journalists want less game in video games nowadays. They hate the concept of uncertainty, and video games are essentially monetized uncertainty. That's right. That's a good way of putting it. That's a great way of putting it. I remember I had someone explain it to me that it was like, well, you know, they have a deadline, so the longer it takes them to get through a game, they want as short a game as possible. That's why they want an easy game. Is that the longer it takes to play a video game, like difficulty increases the length of the game. So the longer it takes for them to get through a game, the harder it is for them to make their money reviewing a game. So they want it to be really easy and not difficult and frustrating at all. I just can't get this right at all. What time is it? We'll play for another few minutes and then we will maybe do some book covers or something. Well, I want to do a nonfiction book cover because I think they're pretty easy to demonstrate. It's all text, you know. Let's see here. 1/1000. Nope, too long. There we go. Nope, too long. We're skipping this. I really do not like these mini games now that I think about it. I don't remember what else we get from this. Oh, there's an EXP plus materia out of the claw machine. Oh, that's in disc 2. You get a carob nut. So if we come back here on disc 2, that's really when we're going to be able to get like the good stuff. The EXP plus materia. What does the gold ticket do? Yeah, a guy reviewing my game said it'd be better if everything took 1 bullet. There you go. Yeah, I don't really enjoy the minigames in this game at all. Each time you enter a station, there's a slim chance a person willing to exchange gil for GP at a rate of 100 to 1. That's interesting. Apparently there's a ghost hotel. We'll go to the ghost hotel. The sub is broken. If we come back later, I think we can get some better stuff here. But I don't even know if it's worth the time. Like, I just don't like, enter and leave until he appears. But I want to pay another 3,000 to get back, so I don't remember where he's at. Maybe enter and leave the station. I don't know if this is where the guy appears or not. I'm not sure where he appears. These games are better than almost any fishing minigame, like in Final Fantasy XV, where they made Noctis a fishing enthusiast instead of giving him an actual personality. The second time you come here, you should have enough for a lifetime pass. That's a good point. Yeah, it's 30,000 gil. Eliminating the exceptional is why safety worship was foisted on us. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll go to the ghost. Maybe we'll go to the ghost hotel real quick, and then we'll move on. We got the what do you call it? We got the extra party member, so we can keep using her for something. Chocobo Square. Ah, Ghost Square. Welcome. Thank you for coming to the Ghost Hotel. For reservations, please step up to the counter. It's our most popular employee, Mr. Hangman. Welcome. It's 5 GP a night. Would you like to stay? Yeah, all right. Enjoy your stay. The Prima guides. I remember those. Please register at the counter. It's a shop. There he is. Welcome. Hyper. Probably need a couple more hypers because I've been getting sad lately. Maiden's Kiss. We'll get one of those too in case we get frogged. Sale on all this stuff. Looks pretty cool. Good music. How do we get out of here? Oh, that's right. I'll go to the battle. Battle's closed for renovations. What? Oh no! Dead. What? Why? Cloud, where are you going? Everyone's dead. Did Sephiroth do this? No, it's not him. They're all shot. Sephiroth would never use a gun. Castle Og! Oh, man with a gun on his arm. It can't be. Hold it right there and stay quiet. Did you guys do this? No, it wasn't us. What do you use for writing songs for games? I've been using IMMS. I don't know what that is. I must have been wrong. Hurry and run, it's gonna get ugly. Hey, hold them. That's as far as you go. Wait, listen to Cloud. Oh no! Robots! I didn't set up my equipment. One more to go. Yes. Hey, pay attention. There's no need to listen. Pay for your crime down below. Do it! Yes. You alright? Where are we? A desert prison. Corral prison. A desert prison? Yep, a natural prison in the middle of the desert, surrounded entirely by quicksand. I heard that once you get in, you'll never get out. But there was one special exception. What is going on? There's an iPad in here and it's ringing. should be plugged in. Okay, whatever. You're guessing I can shred a bit. I don't know. I don't practice as much. I haven't practiced in a while. I do have a degree in guitar, so you got that. But there was one special exception. Hey, Barrett. Real life theme parks should have a place where you could throw people into a desert prison. Yeah, so this light here is like a transparency effect. It looks really cool on the CRT. Barrett. Did he really? Stay back. This is something I gotta deal with. Just leave me alone. Well, that's one of your friends. He sure looks dangerous. Cloud, what should we do? Barrett's not his normal self. Let's give Kate Sith here some equipment, yeah? Power wrist? I don't know. Materia. Manipulate and transform. We'll do fire and all. There we go. Fire. Since that's not going to work, we'll do something else. Enemy skill, I don't know. Fire. Alright, this guy's dead. This one's been shot too. I think I can go in here. Is there anything in here? I don't remember. What do I make music on? I usually use Ableton Live for most of my stuff. Fire 2. There we go. Hit him. There we go. We'll save that limit break. The best stripped down DAW, if you're looking for one, is probably Reaper. If you're looking, it's only like $60. If you're looking for like the industry standard, it's going to be Cubase or maybe Pro Tools or Logic, I guess. Both those you're going to have to buy a lot of plugins for. If you want just something different, Ableton is really weird, but it can do a ton. And the workflow is really, really fun. And it usually comes with a lot of plugins, a lot of synths especially, so you don't have to go searching for a bunch of synth plugins to use. It comes packed with a bunch of different sounds that you can use right away, including a lot of drum sets. So you can really program drums with right out of the box with Ableton. It's great. Give her revive, poison. Oh, that guy's bio. Okay. That's fine. Is there anything else around here? Oh, there's this guy. I wanted to talk to this guy. What's he say? Welcome to Corral Prison. Missed most of today's discussion on book covers. Unfortunately, I want to ask your thoughts about commissioning that gorgeous cover for Water Awakening. Worth it? Yeah, because the painter already had the image ready to go, so it was a little bit cheaper than it would have normally been. So that's part of it. That helps a lot. I think it was only a few $100s. Like $400 maybe. I'm trying to remember. I have to go get my receipts out. Ableton there's a lot of different versions of Ableton. I think you can get a lower version for like $100, and then it goes up from there. There's even an instrument they make called the Push, which is designed to control the sounds in Ableton as like a unique touch-based instrument. It's extremely strange to use it, but it's really cool. Like, it's really fun to. I don't have one. I've wanted one for a long time, but I just can't justify the expense. And like, I have a regular MIDI keyboard that works really good with Ableton. That's pretty much what I end up using. It's called the Ableton Launch, I think. It's really cool. It's a very unique instrument. You can do a lot of stuff with it. You can even play keyboards with it. But it's like a bunch of rubber touch pads that do different things. It's really crazy. Barrett went off this way. I want to see what's down here. High voltage. Empty. Of course. Look at all the look at the bones! I was trying to take a picture of my rabbit next to some deer bones, like a deer skeleton I have in the backyard. But he wouldn't cooperate. I let him go hippity hop around the backyard. Pretty cool rabbit. Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Alright, cool, I got a follower. I've got my own adoring fan from Oblivion. Climb hazard. Go. Novation. No. Not the Novation Launchpad. That's you're correct, but I'm thinking it's called the Ableton Push. All right, let me show it to you real quick. I'll just show it to you, okay? It looks like the Launchpad, but it's way cooler. It's way freaking cooler. And it's apparently $800. So, yeah. This is what it looks like right here. Okay, it's very cool if you've never used one. You can get the Launchpad is like the cheaper one, but the Ableton Push, this thing is so cool. You can do so much weird stuff with it. Like, if you want to make electronic music or do like any kind of live stuff with Ableton, because you can use Ableton Live with a laptop, it works really good. You can even do it, you know. Yeah, no. The Novation Launchpad is this, but not as good. So here's the Novation Launchpad. It's good. It does kind of the same thing, but it's not the Ableton Push. The Ableton Push is this crazy thing, and look, and like you can see the samples on it, It's like it's an instrument you could use away from your computer. It's very cool. I've wanted one for a long time, but I can't spend $800 on like an experimental instrument that I don't know if I'll be able to play or use. I say that I own an iwi, you know, so I have experimental. I have experimental instruments. Totally do. I love experimental instruments because they will make you be creative in ways that you hadn't really thought of before. You know? Just get you out of your comfort zone and will get you doing new things, which is great. I'll tell you one thing, rookie. This desert is extremely dangerous. It'll welcome you in, but if you try to leave, it'll swallow you. I hear tell some of them never make it out. The best thing is to stay out of the desert entirely. Want to enter the chocobo race? Not interested. You thinking of living here forever? Then live a long life. Didn't I tell you not to come here? Just hold on a second. We just want to talk. You'll understand if you just hear us out. Didn't want none of you to get involved. Hey, that's Cloud's line. It's too dangerous. I can't let you get involved. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're already involved in this. We saw you and hurried here, so come on, Barrett. Just tell us what's going on. You guys! I heard that the murders at the battle arena were done by a man with a gun arm. Was that you? There's another man who got a gun grafted onto one of his arms. It was 4 years ago. I remember. I was on my way home from visiting a Mako reactor being built. Barry, Dime, come quick. The village is being attacked. It's Shinra soldiers. What? What the hell happened? For $800, you get the instrument and you get a version of Live. But really, I wouldn't buy it unless I already were really into using Ableton Live for a lot of other stuff. You can control it just fine. If you're just working on a desktop environment, you know, you can already see the samples and stuff. You can already do all that stuff on your computer. It's just like if you wanted something that had a more tactical feel like an instrument to use live, then the Ableton Push is really cool. It's not over yet. Everyone's waiting. Let's get back to the village. Old man. Come on, Barrett. We gotta hurry. Arrgh! Barrett, you stay here. You could shoot all day and never hit them with aim like that. Shut up. Haha, stop playing around. And cover me. Watch out. Don, hang on. Listen to me. You coming back to the village here? Yeah, I ain't letting go. You're coming back, everybody's waiting for you. Eleanor and Marlene. They're all waiting on us. From then on, I couldn't use my right arm no more. I was depressed for a while. But then I threw away my artificial arm and got this gun grafted in. I had a new right arm to get revenge on the Shinra, who took everything away. Back then, I heard the doc say there was another man who got the same operation as me. But his was the left arm. But Dine's injury was the same as yours, right? Yeah, that's right. He was deceived by Shinra, too. He'll probably join us to fight against the Shinra. Wouldn't bet on it. I gotta apologize to Dine before I can rest in peace. And that's why I gotta go alone. Do whatever you want. Is that what you want to hear? Well, I can't let you do it because if you die on me, I'm gonna have nightmares. Barrett, this isn't the end. Weren't you gonna save the planet? Shit, Tifa, you ought to know by now. That's all right. I'm not so different from you. That's easier to understand. It's you, Barrett. So there it is, Barrett. So I guess it'll be Barrett, me, and... Yeah, alright, I like this party. I just put materia in. I really hate having to... like, not have materia on. Imagine, guys, it's really annoying. Earth and heal, okay. Machine gun. Fortune's good. Everything's perfect. Yeah, let me get some material off these other guys. Let's get that. Let's do fire all. Earth. Alright, whatever, that's fine. Does he have restore? Yeah, alright. We're good. Alright. Okay, where are we going now? There's an empty chest over there. Can I talk to this guy? Rookie, then you gotta buy something. Yep, that's the rule here. I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, we're about out of time for this stream. About 9 more minutes. Then I'll take a break and I'll do a book cover and go and save our game. Those guys only tell lies. Only lies. Not one of them will tell you the truth. Just talk with them a couple of times and you'll get sick of them. This place is heaven. This place is heaven. This place is heaven. Man with a gun on his arm? Never heard of him. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. You want to see the boss? Go southwest and you'll meet him. You'll meet him. You'll meet him. Once out in the desert, stay still and don't walk. Don't walk. Don't walk. There's no way you'll ever see a mysterious chocobo carriage. No way. No way. No way. Alright. So the boss is not southwest. The elevator will take you to the top. But you gotta be picked as a chocobo racer first. See if I can blast them all out of here. Oh, they're curing us. Any particular themes or storylines you find appealing in this game? You know, I like the idea of people having a personality that they've constructed which isn't real. But you don't really get that till later in the game. You know, that people are not, you know, that people are basically pretending to be something they're not. You know? Star pendant was stolen. He stole my star pendant. Well, I don't like that. And then he disappeared. Yeah, an unreliable narrator. All right, I think I'm gonna take a break, and we'll come back and we'll do like a nonfiction cover or maybe a sci-fi cover, either one. So that should be fun. Okay. So, anyway, I forgot to promo books. Real quickly, let me get some links before I jump out of here. All right, so newest books up for pre-order. I'm going to have another one up for pre-order here soon. There they are. There it is. Alshafalda. This is a kind of a mythic fantasy. It's coming out next month. If you liked Crown of Sight, this is a kind of a sequel to Crown of Sight. I have a Kindle Vela story for this season. We're trying that out again this year, and we'll just, Kindle Vela is not anything that gets promoted a lot. So after I finish this run of this story, it's kind of like Vampires versus Angels, then we will put it out as a regular book. And Bright Children, I will put out as a regular book here one of these days. So you can just buy it and read it instead of doing the whole Kindle Vela thing. So both of those things are out. And since Brian is here, we'll do one of Brian's here. I don't have Brian's current link here. Let me grab it. I need to have these things linked very quickly. Here, let's link one of these. There's a new combat frame book. Let me find it. What's the new combat frame book? Brian, do you have a link? Let me see. Combat frame Exceed. Try to pull it off your website real quick before we go. Mecha. I'm going to link the first book. It's a great place to start. All right, let's try that again. There we go. I'll be doing a book cover in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm going to start up a new stream. Let me get that started in just a second, and then we'll go from there. Need to get Needle Ash. You do. It's good. You can get it in hardback now. There's a hardback edition, which is great. All right, that's it. I'm going to link it in just a second as soon as I go off here, and then we will we'll take a break so I can get a snack and another drink, and then we'll do like a nonfiction book cover real quick on something. In fact, nonfiction is great because you can talk about the whole product. Like, what is the point of a nonfiction book? Like, what are you selling in a nonfiction book? You're selling something specific. So how you're going to sell an idea to somebody is a big part of nonfiction. Like, what's the idea you're selling? So anyway, we'll do that, and I'll see you guys next time.